It's haul time, my lovelies. I do try to only do hauls with 10 books because then I have the opportunity to talk about it and tell you what the books are about. But I was at, I think, 9 books, approximately around that. And then I got 8 books as a birthday present. So that is why my haul is a little bit bigger than usually, but I guess you probably won't mind. I have a couple of sequels. I'm not going to tell you too much about them, but I definitely have a lot more that are not sequels. So let's just get on with it because this might be a long video. Okay, first up, I got a box set of these 3 Neil Gaiman books, so let me just talk about them. First up, we have Fortunately the Milk. I have no clue what it's about. I believe that this is a children's book and it's a little bit more children's than the other 2. At least when looking at it, it looks a little more childish.
Mom's away, Dad's in charge, there's no milk. So Dad saves the day by going to buy some. Really, that's all that happens. Very boring. Yawn. There are absolutely definitely none of the following things inside. Globby green aliens, intergalactic police, pirates, angry volcano gods demanding human sacrifice, and most definitely not a time-traveling hot air balloon piloted by the brilliant Professor Stegg.
So, I'm actually really excited to read this, and I'm also really happy to finally have another short, fast read because I've gone through all the ones that I had. So yay for that. Next up in the same box set we have The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman, obviously. It is absolutely beautiful. These are the illustrated editions and these are illustrated by Chris Riddle and I love it. I really like the front cover of these. They're very characteristic, I kind of want to say.
Nobody Owens, known to his friends as Bod, is a normal boy. He would be completely normal if he didn't live in a graveyard, being raised and educated by ghosts. There are dangers and adventures for Bod in the graveyard, but it is in the land of the living the real danger lurks. For it is there that the man Jack lives, and he has already killed Bod's family.
I mean, that sounds so intriguing. I've actually never really known what this was about. I've just heard that the main character was called Nobody Owens, and I don't know. I'm excited. It seems interesting. And the final book in the box set, Coraline. Coraline is one of my all-time favorites. I've read it twice, and I am going to read it again because now I have a new edition, and I kind of want to read all of the editions that I get. This one is illustrated, and I mean, I like the illustrations a lot. I also have another illustrated edition, and I think I prefer that, but I mean, that's terrifying. So Coraline is a book following Coraline, who moves into this new house and everything is just boring. Her parents are being boring and nobody has any time for her. Then she discovers a secret door to a parallel universe where everything's fun, especially her second set of parents, called the other mother and the other father. But not everything is just as it seems, and sometimes home is just a little bit better. Freaking love it. I'm gonna go watch a movie after this. I'm excited. I got Raybearer from my aunt by Jordan Ifuenko. I'm excited. I have been really torn with which cover I wanted because I really like both of them, but there's also some things about both of them that I don't like, so I've been very torn. But I ended up putting this on my wish list, and my lovely aunt and uncle gifted it to me for my birthday, so yay!
Teresa has always longed for the warmth of a family. She was raised in isolation by her mysterious, cunning, and often absent mother, known only as the Lady. When Teresa comes of age, the Lady sends her to the capital of the global empire of Eritza to be chosen as one of the Crown Prince's Council of 11. If she's picked, she'll be joined with the other council members through the Ray, a bond deeper than blood. But the Lady has other ideas, including a magical wish that Tarzai is compelled to obey. Kill the Crown Prince once she gains his trust.
Excuse me? What? I am beyond excited for this book, but I will probably say that for every single book that's on here because I am beyond excited for all of them. And this is why I have a lot of TBR vets, because every time I get new books, I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to start that immediately. And some of them I do, some of them I don't. I think I also forgot to say that the Neil Gaiman gift set was also from my aunt and uncle. The next one is The Blood Trials by N.E. Davenport, and I got this from my best friend Caitlin. Yes, I have been wanting this book for ages, and I remember reading what it was about and then I forgot, so I can't really tell you, but I'm gonna read it to you instead.
It's all about blood. Blood spilled long ago between the Republic of Marine and the armies of the Blood Emperor. Now there's peace in the Republic where blood magic is banned, but there is also a strict class system, misogyny, and racism. Her world is not perfect, but Ikenna survived in it. Until now. With the murder of her grandfather, Ikenna spirals out of control. Though she is an initiate for the Republic's deadly elite military force, Ikenna has a secret only her grandfather knew. She possesses the blood magic of the Republic's enemies. Ikenna throws herself into her gladiatorial war games at the heart of her martial world, trials that will lead her closer to his killers. Under the spotlight, she subjects herself to abuse from a society that does not value her, that cherishes lineages over talent, all while hiding gifts that, if revealed, would lead to execution or worse. Ikenna is willing to risk it all to find out who killed her grandfather, so she can end them.
I mean, why wouldn't you? It sounds so good, and I am just so excited to see it, and I really hope that it's done in a way that doesn't glorify any of the bad things that they talk about, like misogyny and racism and blah blah blah, all of that. I really hope that it's done well, but I just have a feeling that it will be done perfectly. Let me just talk about this real quick. So I also got this, which is Beneath the Moon, and that is fairy tales, myths, and divine stories from around the world by Yoshi Yoshitani. This is actually supposed to go with a set of tarot cards that I got, and these are the ones that its bells use. I will link it down below. She uses it for her TBR game, and it's one of my all-time favorite TBR games, and I freaking love it. So obviously I had to get it and read all of the stories in here. This is actually a Danish one. Yes, so I am very happy that I got this. This was just a quickly mention. I think I mentioned I got it from Caitlin. If not, I did. So this is just a collection of cultural fables, ancient mythologies, fairy tales, inspirational deities, and a lot of other things. A lot of mythology, and I freaking love it. If like anything with gods and goddesses, yes, please. Again, for my birthday, again, from my aunt and uncle, I got The Raven Heir by Stephanie Burgess. I don't remember how I found this, but sometimes I go on like a research run, I kind of want to call it, where I look at a bunch of middle grades, and sometimes I do it with YA. I do it a little bit more often with YA than I do middle grade. I just had another one the other day, and it was phenomenal, and I have a lot of books that I want to buy, and that is how I found this book. And I'm excited. So my camera decided to be an asshole and die on me. I was talking about The Raven Heir, so let me tell you what it's about.
Deep within an enchanted forest lies a castle where triplets Cordelia, Rosalind, and Giles have lived safely all their lives, protected by the spell their mother has woven. Only Cordelia's magic lets her steal moments of freedom, over the walls in the shape of a bird or beneath them as a scurrying mouse. But then one day, the outside world arrives. Soldiers has come for the triplets because whoever is the eldest is the heir to the Raven throne. Their mother knows that since the Raven crown was broken, no one has been able to rule the kingdom and live, and she will not give up her children to that fate. When she refuses to reveal which child is the eldest, she is taken prisoner, and Cordelia and her brother and sister find themselves on the run in a dangerous new world. As they set out to rescue their mother, Cordelia begins to see that there is a deep magic at work, driving her toward a destiny that could tear her family apart, take away her freedom forever, or just maybe heal a kingdom.
I mean, it sounds really interesting. I am really excited, and also it's a rather short book, so I should be able to go through it really quickly. I believe that this is the first in a series, and I'm actually really, really excited. I like it. Like, it seems that they have some kind of magic to do with animals on the cover. So I'm really excited for this. And I like the names, even though one of them I cannot pronounce. I don't know how to say it properly, but it is what it is. I told you I had bought this. I think it was last time in my game, the animation game, I landed on a treat yourself space, so I bought some books, and Red Queen is one of them. I don't know why, but ever since there's been more talk about Victoria Aveyard, like, I know that this is an old book and that it was really popular, but after Realmbreaker came out, she kind of resurfaced, and she's also very active on TikTok, and I love her stuff on TikTok. So ever since that happened, I've been more intrigued into, like, picking this up, and here we are.
Mayor Barrow's world is divided by blood. those with red, those with silver. Mare and her family are lowly reds, destined to serve the silver elite whose supernatural abilities make them nearly gods. Mare steals what she can to help her family survive, but when her best friend is conscripted into the army, she gambles everything to win his freedom. A twist of fate leads her to the royal palace itself, where, in front of the king and all his nobles, she discovers a power of her own, an ability she didn't know, except her blood is red. To hide this impossibility, the king forces her into the role of a lost silver princess and betroths her to one of his own sons. As Mare is drawn further into the silver world, she risks her new position to aid the Scarlet Guard, the leaders of the Red Rebellion. Her actions put into motion a deadly and violent dance, pitting prince against prince, and Mare against her own heart.
I am intrigued. I mean, it sounds like the type of YA that I'm gonna love, and I'm guessing there will be some enemies to lovers in this. I am hoping that there will be, in one way or the other. So, yes, please. Yes, please. Next up, we have Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I got this from my best friend Caitlin because she got, was it Owl Crate that did this? And she had 2 copies and she wanted to know if I wanted it. And of course I did. I actually don't know much about this. I'm guessing that there might be like mermaid-ish stuff in it.
A way to survive, a way to serve, a way to save. Simi prayed to the gods once. Now she serves them as Mamiwata, a mermaid, collecting the souls of those who die at sea and blessing their journeys back home. But when a living boy is thrown overboard, Simi does the unthinkable. She saves his life. Going against an ancient decree, and punishment awaits those who dare to defy it. To protect the other Mamiwata, Simi must journey to the Supreme Creator to make amends. But all is not as it seems. There's the boy she rescued who knows more than he should, and something is shadowing Simi, something that would rather see her fail. Danger lurks at every turn, and as Simi draws closer, she must brave vengeful gods, treacherous lands, and legendary creatures, because if she doesn't, then she risks not just the fate of all Mamiwata, but also the world as she knows it.
So mermaids, as I said. And this sounds really, really great. I am beyond excited to get to it. We did have a plan to read it when we were on the cruise, but we didn't really end up reading anything. So yay for us. But I am really excited to read it. I do believe that she has already read it and really enjoyed it. It is not the longest, so it might also be something that I'm gonna read maybe for a readathon because I feel like it would make sense. Oh my god, I still have so many books to talk about. Why do I do this to myself? Because I like books. I'm not even mad at myself. Next up we have Lake's Edge. This is one of the books that I was able to buy for myself. This was not last time, but the previous time when I got a treat yourself. I bought this one. It's by Lyndall Clipstone. Not Clipstone. I will tell you what it's about.
Violetta Graceling would do anything to protect her younger brother Arian. Plagued by nightmares, he possesses forbidden black magic that spills from his fingers as shadows. When the notorious Rowan Sylvanin, known as the Monster of Lake's Edge, discovers Arian's magic, Letta fears the worst. She's shocked when Rowan instead presents a risky offer, refuge at his Lake's Edge estate in exchange for Arian's powers. Soon after Letta and Arian arrive at the once opulent mansion, she discovers that they're not alone. The estate is also visited by the Lord Under, a sinister deity who lurks in the ink-black waters of the lake. Rowan is bound to the Lord Under and is desperate to break the curse that binds him to the lake, slowly corrupting him from the inside. As Letta and Arian work furiously to unravel the curse, Letta finds herself falling for the seductive and surprisingly tender Rowan, who proves to be more boy than monster, for now. Yet, as Letta begins to push the limits of magic, she can't help but feel the alluring call of the lake.
Excuse me? This is one of the times where I had completely forgotten what the book was about. Like, looking at it, I was like, I don't know. I have no clue what it's about. And, now I want to read it, like, now. It sounds so good, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be enemies to lovers, and he's going to be like a dark, tall, handsome stranger. Oh, Damon Salvatore vibes. That's all I want from my book boyfriends. And I'm hoping that Rowan can be in the next one. Based on that blurb, he will be. I have a feeling that he's going to be a sassy asshole, and then he's going to be surprisingly sweet to the main character. Am I going to read this next month? Probably. I mean, I say that now, but then in like 10 minutes, I will have forgotten. Next up, This Bowen Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. This was also one of the ones, this was last time, where I got to treat yourself. I got this one, and I'm actually really, really, really excited for it. I couldn't tell you what it's about. I swear to God that I don't cover buy. I promise. Like, I read what it's about, but my memory is just the worst, so I cannot remember anything. I mean, there's a few books that I can, but that's for very specific reasons. Like, there's something in the blurb that is like, oh yeah, that is the thing that I remember. For example, one that I'm going to show you later, but I'm also in the middle of it, but I did remember what it was about.
To all the world, Eliza is a disposable servant, never to be known for who she really is, the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom. She is hunted always, forced to hide in plain sight lest she expose herself to danger, until one day she makes a mistake. The Crown Prince, Cameron, has heard the prophecies. He knows of the fearsome monster promised to kill his king. Darkness is fast descending upon his empire, driving Cameron to desperately seek out its source. But as he grows ever more suspicious of the servant girl with the strange eyes, the more he learns about her, the harder it is to turn away. Even if falling for someone like Eliza means forfeiting everything he's ever known.
Enemy slowers again? Maybe. It sounds like it could be. It's also the secret royal, and I believe I said once that I like the trope. And then recently I read a book where I didn't like the trope. So it's very hit and miss with me, apparently, with that trope, so I'm not really sure how to feel about it. But it seems like she knows herself that she is a royal, and sometimes I like it when it's that spin on it. So she knows herself that she's a royal. When it's something that is hidden to them and then it's like a big reveal, like, oh my god, you're the queen, or something like that. I apparently don't like it, but hopefully I'll like it when it's this way around, when she knows herself. I'm just gonna take the two next ones. The two next ones are sequels, and then after that I'm actually gonna go to some contemporary. Because who is she? Oh, hold on, I forgot one, and that's because I'm currently reading it. So it's in here, and I'm not gonna bring it out. Just gonna hold up the dust jacket. So this is Murder for the Modern Girl by Kendall Culper. I'm currently reading this. I'm still under halfway, but I'm close to halfway. This takes place in the 1920s, and apparently I like reading about that time period. It's such a great book. I don't know how much I can tell you. I'm currently reading it, so I remember a lot of the details, but it's a multiple POV. So we follow Ruby, who is a 17-year-old girl who can read thoughts, and then we also follow Guy, who is 18, 19? I don't remember, because he can shapeshift into different people, so he can also change his age. He uses the name Guy, but we also know that that is not his actual name. Ruby is the daughter of someone very important. I don't remember his title, like what he is. And he is trying to uncover all the crime and corruption in this city. And something happens to him in the very beginning. There's a bomb. He doesn't die, but there's a bomb. Well, I don't know if he dies or not, but there's a bomb. And Ruby then tries to figure out who tried to kill her dad. At the same time, Ruby might be killing people because she can read thoughts. And she is after all of the abusers, all of the rapists, and all of the bad men, and she murders them. And that is where Guy comes in, because Guy works at the morgue and he wants to figure out who is killing all of these men. It's a romance waiting to happen, right? I probably didn't do this justice, but I mean, it's so good. The next two I'm just really briefly gonna go through. This is the fourth book in a series, so I know I've talked about it before. And the other one, I know that I've talked recently about the first book. So I'm just very briefly going to mention what it is. We have Godborn and the King. This is the fourth book in The Raven and the Dove, where we follow Lyanna, Rafe, Cassian. Nope. Sander. Okay, so his name was not Cassian as I thought it was. It's Sander, and then we have Cassie. And that was why I was like, maybe his name isn't Cassian. Or, yeah, Cassian, because her name is Cassie. Anyways, we follow those four mainly in a world where everybody is birds and has wings. And I can't really go into much more detail because it's a very complex story, but basically a lot of shit happens. It's really good. Next up we have The Midnight Orchestra. This is a Mistwick School novel by Jessica Corey. I read Mistwick School of Musicraft recently. I don't remember when, and then I ordered the sequel when I had the chance to in my game. And honestly, I am beyond excited. So this is a middle grade where music is like the source of magic. So whenever you play something, that creates magic. And I didn't know that that was something that I would like, because normally I don't like it when music has a heavy presence in a book, and apparently this is the exception to the rule. Alright, first up, I'm gonna show you the ones that I can actually just read to you what they're about because they're in English, and then I'm gonna move on to the last. So these were also birthday presents from my aunt and uncle, at least the first two was, and this one is The Lucky List by Rachel Lippincott. I put it on my wish list. I really, really loved 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott, and that made me think that I might like some of her other contemporaries, so here we are.
Emily's always been lucky. Well, technically, her mom was a lucky one, and since she died, Emily started to feel like her luck has run out. So when Emily finds her mom's senior year bucket list, she finds 12 ways to feel close to her again. But if she wants to check everything off, she'll need help. Help in the form of Blake. As Blake and Emily work through the list, the girls' bond deepens. Emily is starting to feel lucky again, but she's faced with the question, can she accept this new part of herself, the part her mom never even knew existed?
Oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna cry with this one. But honestly, it just sounds great. It really sounds great, and I'm excited to read it. Also, it's short, it's a contemporary, I really should get through it fairly quickly. And I am hoping that I like this just as much as I do 5 Feet Apart. Maybe I just really, really need to be picky with my contemporaries, because the ones that I do like, I love. There's not a like, there's only a love, and then there is a no thanks. And most of them are no thanks, to be honest. Next up we have She Gets the Girl, also by Rachel Lippincott, and this is also by Alison Derrick. I freaking love these covers, and honestly, like, they look great together, and they match 5 Feet Apart.
Falling in love is as easy as a 5-step plan. Alex is headstrong with a dash of chaos and a lot of flirt. She knows how to get the girl. Keeping her, not so much. Molly is completely in love with the impossible cool Cora. She just hasn't actually talked to her. When their paths cross unexpectedly, Alex and Molly realize that they might have something in common. If Alex can help Molly get her dream girl, she can prove to her own ex that she's curious about love. But as the two work on their plans to get their girls to fall for them, could they be the ones falling for each other?
Yes, please! I'm so excited. So excited. Like, of course, they should fall for each other, shouldn't they? I mean, I'll know when I read it. I just had a notification that Master of Iron is on its way to me. I am so gonna read it as soon as I have it in my hands. Oh my god. Yes, please. Alright, so first up, and I'm actually currently reading this, or I'm listening to it as an audiobook, we have Welcome to Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop of Dreams. That is the English title. This one is called Rosie Hopkins' Soldrøm, which is the Danish title. It's just Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Dreams. I freaking love these covers. I don't know why they're so phenomenal, but they freaking are, and I love them. So, and pastels, yes please.
Were you a sherbet lemon or a chocolate lime fan? Penny chews or hard-boiled sweeties? You do get more for your money that way. The jangle of your pocket money, the rustle of the pink and green striped paper bag. Rosie Hopkins thinks leaving her busy London life and her boyfriend Jarrett to sort out her elderly Aunt Lillian's sweet shop in a small country town village is going to be dull. Boy, is she wrong. Lillian Hopkins has spent her life running Lipton's sweet shop through wartime and family feuds. As she struggles with the idea that it might finally be time to settle up, she also wrestles with the secret history hidden behind the jars of beautifully colored sweets. Welcome to Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop of Dreams.
And as I said, I'm currently reading this. I'm actually really enjoying it. So, surprise, surprise, she likes a contemporary. That's new. Next ones I'm gonna show together because it's the first one and the sequel, so I'm also only gonna talk about the first one, obviously, or tell you what it is. The books are these ones. And yes, they're also beautiful and pastel, and they're called the Little Beach Street Bakery. This is the first one. This is a sequel called Summer at the Little Beach Street Bakery. Very, very beautiful, very pretty blue and pastel. We freaking love it. We're gonna talk about this one because this is the first one.
Amid the ruins of her latest relationship, Polly Waterford moves far away to the sleepy seaside resort of Pulburn, where she lives in a small, lonely flat above an abandoned shop. To distract her from her troubles, Polly throws herself into her favorite hobby, making bread. But her relaxing weekend diversion quickly develops into a passion as she pours her emotion into knitting and pounding the dough. Each loaf becomes better than the last. Soon, Polly is working her magic with nuts and seeds, olives and chorizo, and the local honey courtesy of a handsome local beekeeper. Drawing on reserves of determination and creativity Polly never knew she had, she bakes and discovers a bright new life where she least expected it.
I mean, it sounds super cute. That was it. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments which of these books you would have picked if you were to buy only one of them. Which ones sound more intriguing to you? If you just want to let me know that you're here but don't know what to comment, you can always leave a green heart. If you like this video, please hit the like icon, and if you want to see more of my bookish content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And until I see you next time, bye!